What's good, y'all? I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and you guys are locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And I am your Philadelphia Eagles news source. I want to talk to you guys about something real quick, but before we do so, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys are continuing to stay engaged. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate all of you guys giving your opinions, giving your thoughts on the content. You guys have been phenomenal. And I really do appreciate all of you guys just constantly returning for more and more football talk. So again, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Keep commenting below. I love arguing with y'all, and we're going to keep this ball rolling. Now, let's get into the topic at hand. I'm looking at this Eagles linebacker position, and you look at the group as a whole, and you say they're talented. You look at the group as a whole and say, man, have we seen a linebacker crew this dynamic in Eagles history, especially coming off a season Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean had? But now we have some questions. Jihaad Campbell, the new rookie, he's coming in injured. He got surgery in the offseason, and likely he starts the season on the PUP list. We think about Nakobe Dean, who had a career year in 2024, had an amazing season before getting hurt in the wild card round. And I give Nakobe Dean a ton of credit for really getting back into the lab and changing his game around and being an asset to this team and really changing the narrative surrounding his career. But Nakobe Dean did get hurt, and he's somebody that likely will be starting the season on the PUP list, just like Jihaad Campbell. So now we think about the linebacker room now, and we say to ourselves, who's there? Let's really get down to it. I mentioned Nakobe Dean. I mentioned Jihaad Campbell. You know Zach Bond is going to start. All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year finalist. You ain't got to worry about him. But then you got Jeremiah Trotter Jr. You got Smael Mondon, the rookie they just drafted. You got somebody named Dallas Gant. You got Lance Dixon, right? So are we really thinking about Lance Dixon becoming a starter on this team? No. Are we really thinking about Dallas Gant starting on this team if Nakobe Dean and Jihaad Campbell can't get right soon enough? No. The only two players we're actually looking at to potentially start is Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and Smael Mondon out of Georgia. And I want to spend this video talking about Smael Mondon specifically. But before I do so, let's keep in mind, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., he's been on this roster last season. He's a year deeper into the Vic Fangio system. So he may have an edge over Smael Mondon at that starting role. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. played a lot of special teams last season. He did get some snaps in the regular season, but overall, Nakobe Dean and Oren Burks were the guys ahead of him when it came to the depth chart and first man up when it came to guys getting injured. So Jeremiah Trotter Jr., a year deeper into the system than Smael Mondon, but how much of an edge does he have over Smael Mondon? And I think that's what we're going to talk about here. Because Smael Mondon, even though he's a rookie, he's a guy that has a ton of athletic traits, a ton of things you like about him at the position. But before we get too deep into that, he was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles in the 5th round, 161st overall. He spent 4 seasons at the University of Georgia from 2021 to 2024, and he's a 2-time national champion. Now, throughout his college career, he did battle lower leg and foot injuries in 2023 and 2024, but he ultimately became a full-time starter in 2022, where his career pretty much took off. Again, he's a 2-time champion at Georgia. Now, when you think about his stat production, in 3 seasons, he played in 36 games, put up 201 total tackles, 120 solo, 17 tackles for loss, 7 total sacks, 5 pass deflections, and he had an interception. If you break those seasons down, in 2024, 10 games played, 57 total tackles, 29 solo, 4 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 3 pass deflections. In 2023, 13 games played, 68 total tackles, 42 solo, 5 TFLs, 3 sacks, 1 pass deflection. And when you get to 2022, his first year starting, he played in 13 games, 76 total tackles, 49 solo, 8 TFLs, 1 sack, 1 interception, and 1 pass deflection. So when you think about his entire resume as a whole from a stat perspective, he's the guy that can clearly stuff the stat sheet. He gives you sacks. He attacks the ball and get you pass deflections. He can take the ball away. He can play behind the line of scrimmage and get TFLs. He's a guy that's really athletic and a guy that can slice through and make plays. On top of that, he's a guy that can make plays in space. He tackles well in space. He's a guy that's supremely athletic, incredible sideline to sideline speed, has an amazing ability to cover in space when it comes to pass coverage as well. He's a reliable tackler and tackles with pretty good technique. You know, again, I think about the position right now with Nakobe Dean being hurt, Jihaad Campbell being hurt. Is there a real chance Smael Mondon can be a starter? Is there a real chance Smael Mondon can beat out Jeremiah Trotter Jr.? I think it is. And I love Trotter Jr. I think Trotter Jr. is a phenomenal player. And you can make an argument Trotter may have the edge because he's been in the league longer, a year longer. But Vic Fangio has made it very clear that he doesn't care when you were drafted. He doesn't care how long you've been in the league. If I trust you, I trust you. And if I don't, I don't. So I think Smael Mondon, out of all the rookies on this team, he probably has the clearest path to start. Or to put it in this way, he probably has the least amount of obstacles in his way, stopping him from starting. But it comes down to Smael Mondon being able to work out the kinks of his game. Now, coming into the league, although he's been an athletic freak, although he's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet, although he's a guy that people really like when it comes to his traits, he does have flaws in his game that need to be worked out. For example, sometimes, according to the scouts, his instincts can be a step too slow, and sometimes he can be more reactive instead of being instinctive. And when you're playing the linebacker position, when you're playing defense, the last thing you want to do out there is be thinking. You want to know exactly where you got to be. You got to know when you got to be there. You got to understand your keys, understand gap discipline. You got to know when it's time for you to get more depth in your coverage. You know, it's all about being at the right place at the right time. And you get that by not thinking out there. You get there by playing instinctive football. So that's something that's been a challenge, according to the scouts in college. And sometimes he can bite on the play action. Granted, he's a guy that can play in coverage. He's a guy that plays fast. He's very athletic. He knows how to take the ball away. He knows how to get to the quarterback. He knows how to play the ball in the air. He does have traits you like. But sometimes the instincts and sometimes the play recognition can fail him. That's not something that can't be fixed, especially working with Vic Fangio, Jeremiah Washburn, Bobby King, you know, the linebacker coaches. So I think Smael Mondon, he's a talented player. I'm really excited to see what he does. I think out of all these guys, out of all the rookies, he has the clearest path to a starting position just because Nakobe is hurt and Jihaad Campbell. Now, that doesn't mean Smael Mondon is going to be a starter the whole season if he wins the job. Maybe Jihaad Campbell comes back and takes over. Maybe Nakobe comes back and takes over. It all remains to be seen. But I think when it comes to these rookies, Smael Mondon, Jihaad Campbell, guys like that, even Antoine Powell-Ryland, those linebacker guys they brought in, I think they can be used in multiple ways, and you may see those guys used in various ways. Even Jeremiah Trotter Jr., he's going to have to fight to find a way on the football field, especially if he's trying to be a starter. So it all remains to be seen. I'm really excited about this, but I'm looking at Smael Mondon as a guy who has a real chance to potentially start on this defense, knowing that Nakobe is hurt and knowing Jihaad Campbell is recovering from injury as well. Will Jeremiah Trotter Jr. be able to step up and win that job? We'll find out. But make sure you guys smash that like button and make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. And I even appreciate the hate. Y'all know what it is. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. Make sure you guys continue to stay engaged. You guys have been tuned in to Chalking Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And I am your Philadelphia Eagles news source.